knows the trouble I'm telling me. Now old rockin' chair, get it. Yeah. Now rockin' chair, get it. Yeah. And just one day. Oh, just one day. Yeah, sitting, yeah, change. Yeah, rockin' chair.
Good evening once again. I'm Jack Wilson, and behind me is Ginny Weissman, and we're here right now asking you to subscribe to Channel 11 by calling us at 372-1200. If you're enjoying Satchmo, as we hope you are, we'll be going back to it in just a couple of minutes. But before we do that, we have to pay for the program.
The phone stopped ringing while the show was...
And that means that now the people have really got to get on that phone. We don't mind at all sitting here talking with the ringing of telephones.
Oh, no, I love it. But I think they got to start ringing in and bring in more money.
Right.
I'd like to see 500,000 here in the next
So we can have more jazz shows like this.
That's right.
Barrett, have you noticed one thing that always amazed me about Louis, being the great entertainer that he is? People think of him as an entertainer, as a singer, and he was, and he hammed and mugged, but he was almost like a dual personality. When he put that horn to his lips, he was a different type person. There was no hamming, there was no mugging.
No.
It was all music.
All music, pure jazz. And nobody plays like that today, nobody.
And one of the major influences, people wouldn't be playing the trumpet today the way they are.
That's right, Harry James, that was his idol, Dizzy Gillespie, all of them, Roy Orbison. I hear the phones ringing, keep ringing.
Do you realize that in the 1920s, Louis was avant-garde? Louis was the fellow who turned jazz around. In fact, probably the most influential man in the history of jazz.
I think he was ahead of himself in 1920.
Right. He was with the, well, up until that time, trumpet players didn't really improvise. They embellished around the melody. But right. Louis was one of the first to come along and improvise on a chord structure.
And make it swing.
And make it swing. That was the major thing. Okay, I guess it's time for us now to go back to Ginny.
There you go, Ginny.
Watching Satchmo tonight, we want to remind you that for a subscription of $35, you can get this Louis Satchmo Armstrong album. We played a little of the music for you before, and you'd really enjoy it. We also have some other interesting premiums. For a subscription of $120, we have a weekend tote bag, and for a subscription of
You see, the average cat would be sitting in the dressing room, but I had to sit in the wings so I could catch everybody and see what they was doing. Newport Jazz Festival, well, man, that's one of the greatest thrills of my life. I hadn't been there in 3-4 years, and I want to thank you all for the most beautiful birthday I've ever had in my life. And it's thrilling to see all the musicians that I've come through the years blowing with, and even from New Orleans, with some of those fellas in the bands. We were all youngsters together, and they come up with that brass band there, and marching, the Grand Marshal. And I was showing the cats how they do in New Orleans, the same thing. brought back beautiful memories to me because all the kids musicians in my days, they come up to it as brass bands. They play for the Odd Fellows parades and funeral marches for clubs that the members, and we could take them to the cemetery as usual and play a slow march like flee as the bird in the mountain, one of those on that order, and they played with the soul. If you standing up there when one of those funerals pass, they'd bring tears to your eyes.
You're going to walk out on the stage unannounced to the center, and it's going to break up the whole house.
You think so?
I would think so. Always have trouble. Always have trouble with the stars.
Sleeping time should be.
Don't you know each cloud can sing? Granny's from heaven. You find your fortune all over town. Be sure that your blue feather is upside down. Trade them for a patch of sunshine and flowers. If you want to think love, you must have troubles, baby. And when it rains, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me.
Well, you know, when I get music for recording, I never know who wrote it, when it was written. But I want you to know, I'm looking at them notes, just like I got Hello Dolly. This, how'd you get to just another tune? I'm trying them all, and this Dolly got the beat I want, and this, that, and that. So it could have been old Joe Doak's number. It made no difference. Anyhow, when you look around, Dolly was a hit.
In the room, swaying that head voice, the bandit hat, take a whole concert hat, but my old. Well, no, wait a while. You might as well take a whole chorus.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. We usually take a half. So when Tyree finishes his chorus, we go into a whole chorus. Let's do that and get it over with now. Take it. Yes, hello, Dolly. Hello, Dolly. Mighty glad, mighty glad, mighty glad, mighty glad. Oh, you looking swell over there. You looking swell over here. You keep blowing, blowing. There go with stuff. Yeah, dig this one. Keep blowing it now. Dig this one now. I'll tell you when now. Yes! My old favorite tunes. Way back when. Yeah. Golly gee. Don't you ever go away. Don't you ever go away. See, all my songs come from little stories. Well, Mac the Knife, when I heard the tune, it brought back memories of New Orleans, lived the same life that Mac the Knife lived way back in 1915 when all the joints were jumping, the hoes, the pimps, you know what I mean? And a cat got 3 or 4 of them gals, you know, crazy about him, and young gals and everything. Well, he's got a little big head, that too, you know. Say, for instance, one of them cute gals want to kiss him, and he'll almost kiss her, but stretch 5 more inches to make her come up and get it. You know, he's so great. Well, that's the way Mac was. And we'll cut you across with a razor any time, and if he catches sleep, he'll fan you while he
you know, go through your pockets, keep it. That's Mac the Knife, and that's why I can see the story so beautiful. They always look at it, but I mean, no matter how you slice it. So that's it, Pops, you know? Mac the Knife. And Blueberry Hill, I can see the life of that too. It's all life. See what we will see. I'll bring my corn. I'll be with you where the birds are blue, yeah. Each afternoon we'll go. Higher than the moon will go. To our wedding in June. The wind, the willows play, yes, that sweet melody, and all of these boughs were never to be. Though we were but you bother me still. You are my dear. Yeah, blueberry. You know, the Jazz Festival and the tribute to my birthday at Newport, it was something that to me is one of the greatest thrills of my life. Just to see there were 6 trumpet players who all through my life were around New York and around America, might as well say. In the olden days, you know, we didn't have it too good, but we enjoyed each other. And for them to come and pay a little tribute to my birthday, I thought that was something real wonderful.
I'm Louis Armstrong's #1 admirer, Bobby Hackett, and I like to play a tune that I'm very fond of hearing him play. Anything he does, I'm very fond of, naturally. But this is one that nobody ever plays, and I like it, called Thanks a Million. Thanks for the
I remember Bobby, before he was playing the trumpet and playing beautiful guitar. He's a very good big guitarist. I got every one of his records and always been my favorite trumpet man as far as donation and phrasing right now. So you can imagine how beautiful that was. Ray Nance who has a beautiful tone, you know, that phrase. To think that when he was a child, I was his idol, and he played a beautiful thing for me.
You going up, up, up in my estimation. How I want to love the shares your caresses do. Now I'll count hugs and kisses, call dividends are due. I'm in the market, yes, I'm in the market. I'm in the market for you.
Wild Bill Davison. I knew Bill Davison in Chicago when he just come out from his little hometown somewhere there in Ohio. And he and I ran together, and he was playing at the big theaters then. Then he come to New York and met Eddie Condon and different boys like that. And he played a beautiful tune there, too.
I'd like to play a song that he did a long time ago called Dim Their Eyes. You all right?
I just want to say many thanks to all those trumpet players, and we are all together right around here in New York, and around one-night stands. We used to meet one another in the bus, ragged as Mothman, you know, hot traveling. But we get to the town where we're going to give the concert and throw the water up and run from under it right quick, and they had nothing to eat yet, but we go and do that concert. Those are the boys that was playing their trumpets that night at the festival. Joe Newman is from New Orleans. He went to Sweden, you know, and different things. And he played a pretty number there, too, from New Orleans. And there's Dizzy Gillespie, who we came up, even while he's with Cab Calloway and other big band and everything like that. Now he's over across the street and that. But we all managed to see each other and have a few laughs and enjoy each other's playing.
Louis Armstrong's station in the history of jazz, all I have to say is unimpeachable. If it weren't for him, it wouldn't be any of us. So I'd like to take this moment to thank Mr. Louis Armstrong for my livelihood. We were on our recent, wasn't so recent, on our State Department tour, we, with the big band, we did some things, sort of a history of jazz. And I had the pleasure of doing a tune that Louis Armstrong made famous.
He did I'm Confessing the same as I would do on the recording, his way. We hammed it up, not knowing that I had the same recording that he did, that he gave to me. And I went down South America, and the guy gave me a tape of it, the same thing.
And when I got back from South America, I laid the tape on him. He went into hysterics. He rolled on the floor, honey. Here it is. I'm confessing that I love you. Tell me that you love me too. I'm confessing that I need you. In your eyes, in your lips, in your legs, in your Tell me the night I'm through. With you, and it's the same thing making them blue. Because, you know, New Orleans is my hometown, and I've always loved New Orleans from ever since the day I was born. There's a life of a child. I remember 7 years old, I was working for some fine Jewish people called the Kanoski family. They just come from Russia, and they had one of the junkyards, and we sell stone coal down in the Storyville now, but it used to be the red light district. You know what I'm talking about. And they've always inspired me to do like nice things. And say, for instance, when Mother Kanoski and the family would be putting a little baby to bed, Mama had little David in her arms, and they would all help Mama to sing la 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 la. You could hear my little 2 cents in there too. Just a little flame to do, baby, that's right. Go to sleep, my baby. Yes, Baba, do
has gone, and our father, brother, we love. in a place filled harmony.
Well, when I come up north, I would Mary. She used to sing in a church somewhere in Chicago there, and at the time, and she got famous, and I comes to buying her records in Europe and different spots. I call it pure good music. I don't give a fuck what you call it, but it's good music. You understand? So yeah, that's the worst thing in the world, trying to stipulate. I never did want to do all that anyhow. If the record's good, got a beat, I buy it. Ain't but two kind of music anyway, good and bad. And I never pick it to pieces. How we know what's folk music nowadays? You know what I mean? It's changed around. But if it's good, I just bought this tune of the Beatles. Let it be, oh, let it be. That's church music if it ever was. Sister Mary come and told me, let it be. They sang that when I was a kid selling newspapers. I'd be chiming, oh, brother, kiss that sister shouting.
Oh, let it be, Lord. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, let it be. Just a closer walk with me. Oh, yeah. Oh, granny, Jesus. Oh, do please.
Down. Yes.
You can keep me out for our room.
Oh, please keep me. Oh, no.
Don't be satisfied at all.
This is I'll be satisfied. I'll,
And I won't just let me walk.
It's wonderful, baby. It's wonderful. We don't keep in the rain. Yes.
Just a closer walk.
Oh, hello, darling. Swing it, mama. Oh, look at them trucking on out that gate. Now them full of red beans and rice. What a evening, folks. Beautiful evening. We'll keep in the rain.
marching in. Now when the saints go marching in. Now in that double when the saints go. Now when the saints are marching in. When the saints How are you good people? Shark has with its teeth there, and it shows them when they fight. Just a jackknife has back heat there, and it keeps it out of sight. When the shark fights with his teeth there, scarlet billows start to spread. Fancy lobster, where's back here? So there's not a place with on the sidewalk Saturday morning. The bag jumping down, and the seaman got the way there. And I go back down. Yeah, Louis Miller disappeared there. Going out all this gas.